Hello everyone and welcome to El Nuclear. So, I bought a new toy and I wanted to talk to you about it because I think it might be valuable information for those who are shopping for a somewhat budget-friendly amplifier. I had an old Carver that was over 3 decades old. It still operates well, it still sounds good, but I wanted to see what a Class D amplifier would sound like in my signal chain. So decided to experiment and purchase the NAD C268 stereo 2-channel amplifier. And I made some notes and I thought it would be good to go over some of these things because I was seeing a lot online about the 298, which is a much more expensive piece, which rated very highly from what I saw. But there wasn't much on the 268, a few little things, but not too much. So I wanted to talk about it. So without making comparisons to the Carver, let's just say in general to a Class AB amplifier, which I had 2 of, the Carver as well as a pretty nice Rotel that rated 130 watts per channel. What are the differences? What am I hearing? I'm just so used to hearing Class AB. Here I have a Class D which rates at 80 watts per channel compared to the 125, 130 watts that I'm used to, which I worried about. I was considering like whether or not that was going to be enough power. But I thought that Class D is a different ball of wax. It's a different technology. It's a different efficiency. So I thought it would be worth auditioning and trying this amplifier. So in terms of power, I was not disappointed at all. I don't really notice a deficiency. It seems pretty compatible with an amplifier that is rated higher, in the hundreds. 100 or more watts per channel. If someone told me this amplifier was that, I'd believe it. I do not have any issues, especially with 2-channel listening in a bedroom setting. It is plenty of power. I don't feel any lack of dynamics or clarity compared to the other amps that were over 100 watts per channel rated. So I want to make that clear. Very efficient power for an 80 watt per channel rating. Clarity. Let's talk about clarity and soundstage in the low and the high frequency range. These speakers, the SourcePoint 8, pair very well with the C268 amplifier as well as a vintage NAD 1240 preamplifier. Now, interesting, in my research, I've noticed that they no longer make, the NAD company does not make a preamp anymore to pair with an amplifier. They have marketed new amplifiers, or recently, fairly new, but I can't find a new preamp. So I'm using my vintage, which works fine. I wouldn't have bought one anyway, because this one's still working great, and it has a really nice phono stage that's adaptable to moving magnet and moving coil. So as long as it's working, great. And it happens to sound very nice with this setup. So an adaptable amplifier, the C268, seems to pair well with these things. Design-wise, very simple, all metal, which is nice. NAD's always pretty much been designed to, a metal box, nothing too fancy. This is very minimalist, which I like, more my style. Kind of interesting that it has kind of an awkward power engagement situation because it has a master switch in the back, which is good, but then the front you've got one power switch. You have to wait maybe 10 seconds as it juices up and warms up before you can even touch that button, because it goes from a standby mode to an engagement mode where it's red. The light is red on the button. You have to wait till it turns blue before it's operational. So it has to warm up. So if you are the kind of person that likes to shut everything down, including the back switch, which I like to do, you have to wait a little bit as the thing wakes up. So it's back switch, front switch, which you have to hit after taking a beat before you hit it, let the thing warm up for 10 seconds, hit that front button, and then hit it again to enter a standby, which is a red light, and then it will go into a blue light mode, which is when you can use the amplifier. Sounds a little high maintenance. Once you get used to it, it's nothing, but I found that to be an interesting kind of quirk about this amplifier. Balanced and unbalanced connections, which is great. The pairing, like I said, pairs really well with other equipment. The price, $1,000, pretty good for an amp of this quality. Interesting, Class D. I have not tried before in the past. Class D amplifiers kind of got a bad rap, and I've noticed that they've improved them. Allegedly, they're a lot better than they were. I don't know anything about that because I've never tried a Class D until this amplifier, but this amplifier is a very nice sounding amp. It's got really good clarity, really good soundstage, maybe not quite as warm as the Carver I had, because the Carver had more of a tube presentation. It was made to model a tube copy in a way. It was modeled upon an old tube amplifier, and they succeeded. It was a warm sounding amplifier. This one, not quite as warm, but the definition in the bass parts, the bass players' lines is really nice, and the sound staging for the placement of instruments, the clarity is really good and really pleasing and very soothing. So you will get those sensations and you will not feel a lack of power, even at very high volume, a little bit harsh at times, but that might be because of the break-in period, maybe, although I don't like to say that because I'm not sure how I feel about that. So let's just say a little harsher than the old Carver. Might have something to do with just age, who knows, but not, unless you're listening at extreme volume, I would say not even a factor in the slightest. Moderate to even fairly high, there is no harshness. There's just really good clarity. So that's what I'm noticing with this particular amplifier. Let's see if there's anything I've missed here. It's interesting that now the NAD products are black. In the past they were gray. Kind of a maybe insignificant detail, but black compared to the old gray. I don't hear any clipping, audible clipping when I'm listening at high volume. Another thing I just want to mention, everything still seems to hold together really well. So those 80 watts go a long way. That, I think, covers it. It's just something that I wanted to do. There wasn't a lot that I saw, like I said, online, and I thought maybe this would be of value. As the unit itself is of high value for the price, I thought it would be of value to you if you're shopping for an amplifier for a system that you don't want to spend a great deal of money, but you don't want to compromise quality and that audiophile feel that you get when you buy a good piece of equipment and when you feel like you have adequate power. This is a really nice choice. So that's what I want to say. The C268 made by NAD, very good 2-channel amplifier, powers the NAD preamp. These powers these speakers, these Source Point 8s very nicely, and in general a adaptable, reasonably priced, beautiful 2-channel stereo amplifier. So that's what I want to say, and thank you for listening. Bye-bye.